InShalla and Ashe. Blessings to you, everybody. Welcome to my daily snippet. I am Tonya D. I practice holistic Sha medium and actually subtle energy surgery. If you have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do and actually echo it out into the airways if I resonate with you and through you. And also, my Musing Moon meditation is going to be galactic, and I'm beyond elevated to share this little gift to you. So be sure to subscribe so you can get that in your little virtual gateway. And welcome again to the Daily Snippet. So have you ever wished upon a star or felt like you were from another galaxy far, far, far and away? Or felt a disruption in the force? Come from a space of no conditions on the channel of love, or the love channel, that unlimited love, or, what even is that? So we come from a world oftentimes where we put limitations on all of the things. You can have this only if you do that, or if you do that, I will give you this. It's kind of the state sometimes we're in. And that's all great if you want to stay in the uncomfortable aspect of love in a control space. However, today's a day to actually literally be in the vortex of not just unlimitedness, but also a word we commonly use is unconditional. But actually first, let's get into the elemental energy in the 4 pillars, which I actually found was pretty curious when I looked at it this morning. It brings us to this yin fire ding day, and it cracks me up when we have the being and the ding day. It's kind of like a ding dong, but on the day, we also have the rooster below on the branch. So this is actually going to be quite a curious day in all actuality, because we almost have what is called a directional branch combination with the monkey and the rooster bringing in the hour of the dog, which is this evening between 7 and 9 p.m. And voila, well, what does that even mean? So just with the monkey and the rooster, or what's even called the cock, which is hilarious, how the mind even works in that narrative, but the influence of the element of metal is actually increased, or it gets exasperated, it grows, whatever condition. I talk about acute and chronic conditions. So it's really about excessiveness or balance. We all need balance. So this all happens when these branches actually combine in a direction. So that would actually be a Western direction. But for our day master is pretty weak in all actuality. So later today, when we have an entire direction online, it's going to be this very strong elemental force. And I just did a podcast about the elemental forces and actually the wisdom in them, or I should say some of the wisdom. If you're curious, that was actually released yesterday. You can find that on my website or on Apple. It's Musing with Tonya D podcasts, or my website. They're on my website as well, which is just tonyad.tv. But also I have what's called my Nature Series podcast. And those are just great to listen to just get an idea about the elemental shifts and the cycles during the year and really connect with your inner nature. But also we have what's called the Hour of the Snake, which is actually happening right now. It started at 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And what happens with this is actually we have a release of that metal energy with the rooster and the ox. So this is actually, it's a pretty metal or mineral elemental kind of day, like stones even. When they meet or combine, there's this very, very, very strong elemental force. So I would actually, I would bring in the element of water, and also more importantly, the element of wood. Wood is going to support the fire, and also it's going to take some of that energy, that excess energy from the metal or the mineral. It's this coarseness or unrefinedness of it. I don't even know if that's a word, but unrefinedness. But also, the water is actually going to take energy from the metal and reduce its influence too. And at the same time, nurture the element of wood or nature. So connecting with your inner nature, your authenticity, transforms this harshness of this metal energy or frequency. And water actually brings in the healing aspect as well. So with our day master for today being fire, yin fire, the fire in the stem of the month branch would be like sibling rivalry, or maybe the parents are strict with all that metal surrounding the fire as well, which is actually, I mean, there's healthy fire as too, right? But still, with all that metal on the year, one's hidden in the stem right below, and the other two right below the fire, the monkey and the rooster. So what could happen, or what this day could actually feel like? So fire is an aspect of charisma, it's energy, it's spirit, it's also leadership. You could be a charismatic leader, you know, you have a lot of fire. So with all that metal, which it takes fire to actually kind of sedate the metal and to transform it, but they might express their fire nature through like frustration, aggression, or some kind of impulsive behavior, kind of like ADD-ish kind of feeling. So I would probably stick with the element of wood for both the fire to nurture it, support it, and all of that metal or mineral that's kind of cascading all around. So today, really, you could bring in the energy or the spirit of our ancestors, the angelic realm, the God channel, if you will, or at least that seems to be my narrative. And we also have some really cool cosmic channels that are open today, just really juicing us up to talk to spirit, the energy of our subconscious. It could be spiritual, it could be psychic, or even telepathic abilities. In our intuition channels, there's different ways where we can intuit, but they are just naturally open. And if your sun, or you know, you have a lot of planets in the 12th house, or if Leo is on the cusp of your 12th house, there's actually more to this, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of idea of what that looks like. That's kind of the aspect that comes in. And if you woke up with any feelings or sensations that you can't seem to either verify or even identify, or even your awareness feels kind of cloudy or foggy, or you're kind of out of focus. You might be in a dream state, like fire. Fire is the dream state. It's also our visions. And it's our ancestors. So give yourself an extra pause, extra space, and even more importantly, extra time today, time and space. So it's okay to kind of procrastinate on a day like today. There's, you know, no heavy lifting, no heavy musing, no heavy duty activities. You really want to stay in the realm of the world of spirit, whatever that is for you. Because we have some channels that are open to our prime directive or our source energy today. I call it the God channels. They're at their highest level. It's like the heart center and our spiritual conduit are going into our cosmic soup. So really, it is the most elevated day to authentically connect through spirit, to create this conduit for our creative future in our intentions, our story. So yesterday we explored the ideas of solving different situations in creative ways, more of an optimistic kind of venue. So today would be the day where it's time to connect with our authentic self and, you know, sit with yourself and ask if your plans, or maybe if you sense higher planes, you know, we're in this elevator to our highest good. We're connecting with what's called our Sira, what we look like in the other world, our essence, basically. So, you know, what does that even look like? So for me, it's like receiving a message or an otherworldly kind of visitor, or even getting a memo that really shifts the perspective about my personal narrative of the future, what that looks like. So things you don't see coming. So it's like God universe is really opening up the door, the channel, to send some juiciness to us today, if we're open to that. So if you went down the rabbit hole and followed the black rabbit, not the white rabbit, and judging not just yourself, but situations, you might really sense into the truth with a revelation, with a higher perspective, or even a aha moment of in spirit action. So that's like spirit in action or intuition. I like it in spirit myself. And to add to that, forgive yourself, or more importantly, others for mistakes of the past, all of the could have, the would haves, the should haves, and whatnots. And I was just musing this morning about the word forgiveness and how authentically to forgive. So what that looks like, it's like smiling at the adversity and forgiving. Most people aren't even aware that they have even done something to us, or that they need to be forgiven for something, or others, they don't even know what they did and that they're in a state of guilt or shame. It's kind of like an emotional field, but ultimately we aren't the ones that get to do that. So it's better to just shelf it and forgive authentically. Holding on to grudges, the past, or even resentments, all that does is it fogs up our judgment, and it disfigures our options. So, literally flick that shift away and be really in the observation station of your feelings. It's where our intuitive channel or our telepathy is really online. And when you frequent that frequency, you learn spiritually something. Like the spiritual narrative kind of gives you a higher perspective about our soul's destination on this journey. So it really is a great day to actually meditate, use the mirror of reflection to calibrate our intentions through the space of our heart, our conduit, our God channel, and just getting into the threads of our own essence, or maybe, you get this understanding of why and how your journey has literally unfolded in the way that it has. I talk about our reputation in the energy body, Demystified. I can't remember exactly what stage, but it really is about upcycling our reputation, basically. So we really, 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 we want to utilize this energy of that today and put the old story to rest, the fears, or even, it could be a situation that has kind of been like this old haunt, this old ghost from your past. So it really is uplifting when we challenge those fears and give them up to the ghost with the closing of them. We get to witness the birthing of new spiritual cycles and what that looks like. And in meditation, I would see the options or the scenes before me. I just kind of like to stay in my own observation station and learn from the intuitive thoughts, the channeling, and also what feeling treads through. So it really is time to tap into the intuitive lines and meditate on the different intellectual pursuits, the grand planned or the grander plans out into the future where they can actually cascade. So it's like, literally, it's like a fishing line going out, and then you can kind of pull the fish back to you. So, you have to ask yourself, do they go along with your spiritual values? Or if you get any alert signals, take them seriously. I would even take a look into the long-term mission in the spiritual realm, or the spiritual mission of why our soul literally felt called to whatever journey you've taken on the earth plane. So how does that spiritual calling kind of feel? Is it in a state of joy? Is your heart in alignment with whatever that definition is for you? And also, is it going to bring or highlight the very best inside of us, be that beacon? So we really want to uncover or remove the blanket, if you will, our spiritual purpose and even the meaning of it as it starts to unfold and unravel through the intentions of the channel through our heart. So if something unrequested or, something that's coming out of left field, like a surprise happens, more than likely it's part of our destiny or our fate. So it's important, I have been actually rewatching the Matrix trilogy. So it's like fate is what happens and destiny is what we do with it. So it's something that you could probably, couldn't actually avoid it because it's there. And the more you authentically love yourself and your heart grid, and also accept yourself as the magical being that you authentically are with zero conditions, the quicker we end up being on our path, our destiny, like we're on it, we're in the river. So resistance to our own personal truths, that creates a procrastination where we procrastinate our evolution, whatever our story is. So it really is time to be your soul inspired self, be authentic. It's those heightened realms of spirituality. They're mixing with the energy of unconditional love in the cosmic soup bowl. So this ingredient in our soup brings with it this awakening that's kind of more profound to our own personal divine path, our story, what that looks like, and also how it's going to unfold on our earth journey. So you might be called to face something that really makes you feel emotionally uncomfortable because you're not familiar with it usually. But that really is the path to put your plans, your intentions into motion. The forces of adversity, they're asking you to actually be in the flow, in the current of your heart's intentions. And once our mind gets clarity and is made up, then the strength is also there to do it, to follow through. So protecting ourselves from any malicious thoughts or manipulation in our thought grid and raising our vibrations of not just the physical bodies, but also our subtle bodies, while we stay in this communication with this elevated, it's like going up the escalator kind of spiritual levels or even multi-dimensional kind of stuff. That's kind of the process for today. And our crown center is online today. So again, I have dark purple on, but you can wear any kind of purple, or I should say more of the violet, the pastels, gold. You can bring gold in to align with your soul's harmonic, silver to engage and open up your shaman's portal. Those are just different conduits for spiritual energy. I talk about a lot of this in Change Your Stars, both the shaman's portal and also the soul's harmonic. I just had a brain freeze. That's because I talk a little bit about it and uncover the secrets to the other world as well. But another color just came online is greens. Greens are great as well. I have an emerald on, dark green emerald, like an emerald forest, the realm of moss or ferns, fairies of the wood, I would say, the beings, the fairies, the energetic beings, the fairies of wood, the Wedamays. So we can actually meditate and kind of spiralate into the spiritual realm today. So you want to kind of imagine yourself as if you are your own golden sun and place that gold, or you could do silver, green, even the violet. You could put that all around your heart center and just allow it to expand your own light and also merge with it. Or you could actually bathe in the essence of those colors as well. The angelic being, I only went with one today, is Sandalphon, the brother. You could still bring in Raguel. We're at the end of the Leo season, the wizard. But Sandalphon, it's just start singing tunes that really light up your heart. I've had a ton of songs come in, especially about the heart. I just can't think of any right now, but they usually just like pop in and I'm like, oh yeah. One is I think it goes, I'm going to follow my heart. I can't remember who sings it, but I can hear it in my ears, I should say, and I can see it in my third eye. But those are messages from Sandalphon, and that's how this angelic being actually works. He sends messages through songs. Plus, if you're a musical artist and you need some assistance in getting your show going, your narrative, your artistic abilities, whether you're already creating music, but you need the world to see your music, Sandalphon's the one you want to call in to assist with that. You can also bring in your soul's harmonic with sound. You could actually ask him for what that feels like or sounds like, the tonalities. I'm really just sticking with him today. I wasn't actually called to anyone else. And the seed sound for today is, I almost forgot again, but it's it brings in the spiritual connection Or, if you're like me, I prefer the sound of silence, the silence in nature. That works the best for me. It's just my opinion. But do what resonates with your own personal essence. And also, here we go for the card of the day, which is fine. I thought this was actually curious. Balance. I thought we would stick with the Consciousness Ascension deck because we're in this conduit of spirit. And I pulled this balance card, so it's totally funny. It's the Syrian initiation. And the Syrians, they had this deeper connection to humanity. What I found that's curious is that they actually assisted within the structure, our God codex of our DNA, and, really profound ways. So there's a lot of information about the destruction of humanity in our DNA. I kind of wonder if this is cascading right now, to be honest, but there's also a deeper narrative or a story that resides between these lines, between fear and the linearity of it, the lines. So this is something that the Syrians knew very well, that our DNA has this functionality of evolution literally built into it. So this is about the initiation of that. And the Syrians, they begin, they're like a focus towards change and progress. They're like futures, what I was trying to come up with. They're future orientated in my mind's eye. So, what is a deep seed of universal information that came from the Lyrian's energy becomes this birthing of potentiality through focus and action with the Syrian energy. So what this looks like is, as flowers kind of blossom to reveal the essence of their inner beauty, we're really in this place where we can get in the initiation of greater changes on the earth, as both our desires or even our intentions for that matter, they blossom into our reality. So change really means releasing things that previously made us feel safe to maintain. It's just really time to shift our stories. And the next step in the creative process, or this escalator of elevation, which is our active inner change. So this card balance, just think of like an imbalance is being polarized in one direction. So we balance physicality with literally the balance of being. That was my first online course. I talk about nutrition, exercise, rest, play, solitude, move, a few other things as well. But we balance mentally when we use both our heart or our intuition and our mind and our intellect to really choose and evaluate. And we balance emotionally when we just allow our emotions to flow in healthy ways. We don't dam them up. And we balance spiritually when we seek the uniting and also the empowering thread of love in that channel that actually permeates through everything in life, in all of it. So we don't need to immerse ourselves in extremes to really find our balance. Sometimes that could happen though, right? Or it might happen, but balance is really found by removing ourselves from all of the drama and establishing boundaries that actually support us. Where we, do you value your inner peace? If you do, you're going to find an increased ability to respond quickly to change because you don't want anything to disrupt your inner peace, right? So this card is actually reminding us to look within ourselves to find our inner balance, our inner peace. So we can use the outer world to direct our intentions and our attention inward in this way. So the middle road, being in the middle of the road, we have paths to take. It might not be a line between the two opposing forces where it expands out to kind of integrate everything like a cosmic web, but an elevated cosmic web. So when we honor these inner realms like the Syrians as the seed of creation, the internal balance actually creates this foundation that's expansive for new growth and opportunities. And then we're more powerful than we often ever ultimately understand, really. And the light language is actually assisting us to release fears that actually polarize us, that keep us in a state of freeze, is kind of what I'm seeing, and activate a deeper understanding of how capable we really are to transform inside of us and really create more joy in our earth journey, in our life, even out into the world, really, right? So life is constantly changing. And it's with our patience that supports our improvement. It's our solitude. It's our meditation. It really is time to meditate and do it more. Spend more time actually out in nature. I choose silence and observe her often, I should say. Focus on eating better and exercising, resting, and obviously, just playing. We become more creative when we are playing, whether it's coloring, doodling, whatever it is. It's just playing some more and some more and some more. So some affirmations to say would be something like, my balance is always moving and adjusting to the dance. You just kind of start climbing into your skin, moving around. For me, I'm always in the tune of like, I am being mindful of my feelings and what pops up in my spirit, in my spirit channel. And I'm also in a state of forgiveness where I'm releasing the old cobwebs, the old story, the old destiny. And when you release that, you really want to release it with grace of the divine love, the story. So it really is a day to stay in alignment with the heavenly universe today. The ascended masters, the angelic beings, or, all of it really. And make it this holy shift kind of a day where you just allow your frequency to tune into the other realms, the angelic beings, and let them bathe you in that divine unconditional love, and try to stay in that frequency if you can. So InShalla and Ashe, blessings to you, and thanks for tuning in.